shubha, the first dust they threw in the eyes of the Muslims and the non-Muslims is, so we will talk about 6. Number 1 is they talk about the Nasara of Najran, and number 2 they talk about أن النصارى وأمثالهم كانوا يزورون إمام. They say the Christians and people like them, like their pastors, they used to come to the chief Imam to visit him. Therefore, he's also supposed to go to Easter Sunday. And we'll be talking about the raib fi umr al-imam, the doubts in the years, 100 years, they claim Imam has attained. And number 5, we'll be looking at them saying, if you say bid'ah, then what of you using a car or a plane to Mecca and the rest? And number 5, we'll be looking at a discussion that happened recently with this young man, like our age mate, I mean from 40 to 30, that I believe he'll be within that age, who was interviewed by one journalist on Metro TV, whose name is Paul Adom Ochery, with this young man, like I said, like our age mate, whose name is Khuzaima, who claim is the PA to the National Chief Imam, just because he happens to be in the house of the National Chief Imam. And now he claims he is a grandson of the National Chief Imam. We'll be looking at this. So number 1, let's start. Nasara and Najran. The Nasara of Najran, when people started raising issue about the going of the church of the Chief Imam, our Chief Imam, the people who are close to him started raising excuses, but there wasn't even one hujjah. From all this shubhat that we've mentioned, all this shubhat, no one hujjah from the Quran and the Sunnah and the aqwal salaf, no one hujjah. What they were presenting are khayalat wa ta'wilat wa afkarul batila, just conjecture, imaginations, and twisting the history of Islam. Now, it happened so clearly that you realize that these people have not studied the heritage. I mean, those who were speaking on the radio and the TV, trying to defend the issue. You see clearly that they have not studied the heritage of Islam. Some of them, even with their utterances, you will find it clearly that they have not even attended proper madrasa. I mean the basic ones. Now, number 1, like I said, they were only giving false and twisting history the way it should be. Number 1, they say the Christians of Najran came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to ask him questions, and then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when it was time for them to have their prayers, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked them. They asked permission from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam permitted them to have the service in the masjid of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, is this story true? Yes, it is true. But does it relate to the Chief Imam going to church on Easter Sunday? Now, did the Christians who came there to the masjid, these are the questions we are throwing to them. Did they worship with the Muslims when they came to the masjid? Did they worship with the Muslims when they came to the masjid? The answer is no. Now, did Chief Imam, when he went to the church, did he go there to perform salah? Just like the Christians, they came to the masjid and they performed their kind of prayers? The answer is no. Like we've stated, and we have read the hujjaj, that it is haram to enter into the church during their service or services, or during their celebrations. Question number 2. Did they just came to the masjid to have their service there? The answer is no. They came there to ask the Prophet ﷺ questions about Islam. Now the next question that will go to these people who are trying to justify this incident with this history or with this story. The question is, did the Chief Imam went there to ask about Christianity, or he went to celebrate his birthday there? So they have to answer this. And number 3, did the Prophet ﷺ also went to their church to have his salah there with his jama'ah because they came to him? The answer is no. So there are a lot of questions that can be asked from what they are saying. What they are saying has nothing to do with what happened. So number 2, they say the popes and reverend fathers and pastors pay courtesy calls on the Chief Imam. They come to the house of the Chief Imam to interact with him, to visit him, and he attends their Mawlid and so on and so forth. Now the question is, did the Chief Imam also go to their house, or he went to their service? If they pay him visits in his house, did he also go to their house? No, he went to the church during their service. So it is not an excuse for you to say they come there, they come to your Mawlid. First of all, Mawlid in Islamic principles, Mawlid is not part of Islam. We've narrated in the previous the lecture we just delivered before answering this shubuhat. Mawlid is not part of Islam. So if they attend your Mawlid, definitely that is not a diniyah. And will it be wrong for the Chief Imam to pay them visits with the right intention? Yes, it is permitted to pay them visits in their houses, or even in their church when there is no church service. It is allowed in Islam. And number 3, they raise the point that the people who follow the teachings of the Prophet ﷺ and the Salaf, meaning the Sahaba and those who follow them in guidance, they said these people make use of the word bid'ah, meaning innovation, and that if bid'ah is not part of Islam, then they should stop taking cars and planes and stop using televisions, because the Prophet ﷺ did not use it. They are not in existence. They weren't in existence during the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now the answer is television, cars, plane, electrical energy, and all this. Are they religion? Are they part of the religion? Are they religious? Like, do we practice them? The answer is no, we don't practice them. How can you practice plane? How can you practice car or television? We don't practice them. They are not religion. But anything that is being practiced or believed as a Muslim is religion. I hope you understand. And we don't want to go much into fiqh to explain this. It is simple logic. No one will tell you that if you take Corolla and I take Toyota, you are better than you have this kind of blessings and I don't have this kind of blessings. No one will say that. Or your TV is Samsung and mine is another brand. What are some of the brands in TV? Panasonic and the rest. You see, no one will say if you use Panasonic, you have more blessings than the one. But even in your Maulid, you have a lot of lies in it that anyone who cooks food and give on the day of Maulid, this. And then you mention blessings that is part of the deen. So now let's come back to the hadith of the Prophet. He made it clearly that every kind of innovation in the religion, every kind of innovation, all innovation in the religion, it's haram. It's haram. And must be rejected. He said, عليكم بسنتي وسنة الخلفاء الراشدين المهديين عضوا عليها بالنواجذ وإياكم والمحدثات الأمور فإن كل محدثة بدعة إن كل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. He said, I urge you to hold on strong onto my sunnah and then the sunnah of the rightful guided khulafa. And then he said, وَإِيَّاكُمْ وَالْمُحْدَثَاتِ الْأُمُورِ, and I'm warning you against innovating issues and practices in my فَإِنَّ كُلَّ مُحْدَثَةٍ بِدْعَةٍ, anything innovated in the religion is misguidance, and any misguidance is in the hellfire. Now he said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim, he said, man uhditha fi amrina hadha ma laysa minhu fahuwa raddun. Anyone, Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, anyone, man ahdatha fi amrina, anyone who innovates in our affairs. You see, he's pointing to the religion, religious practices and beliefs. Anyone who innovates in our affairs, in our religion. You see, so here the bid'ah we are talking about is not bid'ah outside the religion, like cars you are mentioning and playing. These are things that are part of our daily lives, and they are not part of our practices. We don't practice car in the religion, so they are not part of what the Prophet ﷺ is talking about. He said, "Man ahdatha fi amrina hadha ma laysa minhu fahuwa raddun." It should be rejected. So this is from the Prophet ﷺ in Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. So we've cleared this one too. And now the issue of Chief Imam being 100 years. Now we are saying there is a doubt whether Chief Imam is 100 years or not. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give him a successful, or grant him more successful years. May Allah bless him with more years. Bless him with more years. May Allah bless Imam with more years. But like I said, there is doubt in this issue. What is the doubt I'm talking about? The reports and the biography written about the Chief Imam indicate clearly that the Chief Imam is not 100 years. And please bear with us. We have stated, and I'll keep on stating, mentioning it, that the Chief Imam is our Imam. We are not part of the Munkirai. Waɗanda suke ce shi Chief Imam shi ba limamin su bane. Don yayi kuskure. Mai yiwa su suna da wani hujja akan abin da suke fadi. Mu dai bamu da wannan hujja. Shi dai mun samu. So we are people who respect the Chief Imam, and therefore that is why, and therefore we will defend him when people lie against him, We will defend him and state the record straight. If the report they gave, and you can find this on various platforms, they've posted the biography of the chief imam, unless they have some spiritual definition for that, explanation for that, unless they have some spiritual definition for that. Now on Iqram Radio, which they published April 23rd, 2019, it is stated there, when they were giving the biography of the chief imam, they said the chief imam was born on the 23rd April 1923. And now we are in 2019. Make the calculation. Take 2019, 2019 from 1923, and check if you are going to get 100 years. What you're going to get is 96 years. Number 2, and it's not only on this platform, on this report, many platforms you can find this there. You just type in the biography of the National Chief Imam on Google. These are the same people who claim they love the Chief Imam, and they are creating this mischief. Now, on the 24th April 2014, our current president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, visited the Chief Imam on his birthday, and I read, 24th April 2014, Akufo-Addo. Now this is a report, so I'm reading as it is. Akufo-Addo sends birthday wishes to National Chief Imam, Sheikh Dr. Osman Nuhu Shaributu, and listen to what the year he celebrated on the 23rd of April or 24th of April 2014. On that 2014, listen to the year or the years the Chief Imam celebrated. They said he went to wish him a happy 91st birthday. 91st birthday, when the Chief Imam was 91 years. In 2014, it stated that the Chief Imam was 91 years. 2014. Now we are in 2019. So calculate. Now this is the report, and you can check this on Peace FM online and other platforms, which you type anything you type concerning this and you find it there. Peace FM online. Now this is the report. Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo said, on behalf of my wife Rebecca and our family, because that time he wasn't a president yet, he was just a candidate. He said, on behalf of my wife Rebecca and our family, I wish the National Chief Imam, Sheikh Dr. Osman Nuhu Shaributu, a happy 91st birthday. On this momentous occasion, I pay tribute to the National Chief Imam's life, legacy, and the significant contributions he has made towards national development. I pray the Almighty Allah grants him longer life to continue to bless this nation with his wisdom and experience, since in Islam, wisdom is synonymous with age. Once again, I wish Sheikh Dr. Osman Nuhu Shaributu a happy birthday. Now this is the report on peacefmonline.com. So you see, you can make your calculations clear. So we have doubt. We have doubt. If per what they are writing, the same people who are around him, the same report they are given on the biography of the Chief Imam, if that is true, And please underline, if that is true, then the chief imam is not 100 years. Then they wanted something to achieve with what they just organized for our imam. So we are done with this. The next one we'll be looking at is the conversation between Khuzaimah and the journalist on Metro TV, Paul Adom Ochery. This young man, Khuzaimah, like I said, young man like our age mates, who claimed on that program that he's a grandson of the national chief imam, lied on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and denied hadith in the books of knowledge in Islam, which indicated clearly that this man is speaking from himself. He's speaking off head and not from our heritage, the heritage of Islam. Because you will listen to it. Now, what I loved about the interview was that Paul was very professional. He asked him very intelligent questions. And when my brother Khuzaimah was trying to play fallacy, Paul indicated clear professionalism there on that issue with his questions. Now, when he asked Khuzaimah about a particular hadith that a lady called, I'll play the name and then we'll hear the name. A lady asked, stated on Facebook, on one of the social media platforms, the hadith of Salama. This man said the hadith is baseless. Baseless means it. And then Paul asked him, Muslims are not happy with what happened. And Khuzaimah was then trying to play smart, play fallacy, by saying that, first of all, by saying that the hadith is baseless. Number two, the fallacy he committed is that since he was asking Paul, don't you people pay us visits during our festivals? He said yes. Don't you pay us visits whether invited or not? He said yes, we do. So then he said, isn't it nice for us to reciprocate? Isn't it nice for us to reciprocate? Then Paul asked him the intelligent question that a Muslim would ask. He said, I'm not asking whether it is nice or not. Allahu Akbar. He said, I'm not asking whether it is nice for you to come or not, but I'm asking about your Islamic principles. What does the Islamic principles have to say? And then he committed another fallacy, which is in logic it is known as rhetoric polemic or rhetorical polemic, using words to persuade the one in question, to persuade the participants into fallacy, to dodge facts. Listen to what he said. And that when we say this kind of fallacy, rhetorical polemic, meaning you are trying to use words to catch the feelings of the person, but not stating, not focusing or tackling the issue at hand. It's like when a lady says to you that I can't marry you because you are not a Muslim, and you trying to use words like, oh, me that my father died when I was very young, I struggled in life, I even slept in the gutters, it is difficult for me to have food to eat. Now you are not facing the fact. The fact is that she said you are not a Muslim and that's why she's not marrying you. And now you are trying to catch her feelings by using this rhetorics. This is what Khuzaimah he said. when they ask him, I'm asking of your Islamic principle, the Islamic principles, the Islamic knowledge, the Islamic heritage. He said, he asked Paul, Paul, which one would you like? Which world would you like to live in? Is it the world of Osama bin Laden or the world of Chief Imam? Now, this is a fallacy. You are not tackling the issue at hand. What does Osama bin Laden world and Chief Imam's world have to do with the question they are asking you of the principles of Islam, the Islamic knowledge? Now, we will state it clear what the hadith he denied. This shows that this man who sat claiming he's an Islamic scholar, because that's why what he was addressed with, Islamic scholar, because he has some turban on and sitting like a student of knowledge or Imam. Meanwhile, he is stating that clearly. He's indicating that he is not. The hadith they ask you about, my brother, about the hadith of Salama that you stated that you don't know it from anywhere. It stated clearly that you have not even studied Bulughul Maram. It stated clearly that you have not even studied Bulughul Maram. Because in Bulughul Maram, the hadith is clearly here. In Fathul Bari of Al-Hafiz Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, it's stated there. The hadith is stated in Abu Dawud. The hadith is stated in Nasa'i. The hadith is stated in the Musnad Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal. Now, whether the hadith, the argument about the hadith in fiqh, that can you fast on Saturdays or not, and the issues around it, that is the issue of the fuqaha. But the hadith is there, and you said you don't know about it. It's said clearly that you've not studied Islam. Now, let me come to, I just love the question Paul asked, because he was asking about the Islamic principle. Let me quote the hadith for my brother, in case, since he stated it baseless. Like I said, the hadith is even in Bulughul Maram, meaning the basic books we study in Islam when it comes to hadith, studying hadith or fiqh as Muslims, studying the tradition when it's on the path of fiqh. Because first of all, after studying Arba'un al-Hadith, then Umdatul Ahkam, then Bulughul Maram, meaning you didn't pass these stages. The hadith is in Bab, let me mention it clearly, Babu Sawmi Tatawwu' wa Nahyu an Sawmihi. It's stated that وعن أم سلمة رضي الله تعالى عنها أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم كان أكثر ما يصوم من الأيام يوم السبت ويوم الأحد وكان يقول إنهما يوم عيد للمشركين وأنا أريد أن أخالفهم. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, on the authority of Salama, he said, it stated that the Prophet said, used to fast a lot on Saturdays with Sundays, and he used to say that innahuma yawma eidin lil mushrikin, that these 2 days are the Eid of the mushrikeen. Khuzaimah, when you were asked in the interview that who are the mushrikeen, you said they are the idol worshippers. You didn't say who are the mushrikeen. The Prophet stated who are the mushrikeen. The mushrikeen, he said they are the Christians and the Jews, and also those who worship trees and stones, and they are all mushrikeen. Prophet said the 2 days are for the celebration of the mushrikeen. وَأَنَا أُرِيدُ أَنْ أُخَالِفَهُمْ, and I want to, and I always want to differ from their forms of ibadah. Anything that they take it as the form of ibadah, I want to separate and distinct myself from it. Distinguish myself from it. I want to distinguish myself from it. This is what the Prophet ﷺ said, as it's stated, like I mentioned. Khuzaimah, this is stated in Bulughul Maram, basic books of Islam, and you said you don't know and it is baseless. Subhanallah. Now, as you can see clearly, our brothers have no hujjah. Rather, they are indicating ignorance. But you know, the funny thing is that they will rather turn and call those who are reading from books, those who are quoting from books, from the Quran, from sources, they will rather call them that they are ignorant. I don't know what ignorance means in their language. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us. He is the one who has been asked clear questions and he don't know about them. He is calling himself a scholar, and the one who has graduated from the hands of great Islamic scholars, and he is quoting from the Islamic sources, and you are not quoting anything, rather using khayalat, using ta'wilat, and you are calling yourself a scholar. And brother, you need to sit up. On this note, I want to state it once again, that these people defended the chief imam because they love him. I want to tell them that they don't love the chief imam. Because if they love the chief imam, they wouldn't go around spreading ignorance. Because people will think that this is what is around the chief imam. We love the chief imam. And Islam has taught us that when your brother is doing good, you help him. When he's doing bad, you help him. And how do you help your brother? If he's doing wrong, you help him by correcting him. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to save this ummah. Not mentioning only Khuzaymah. Those who have gone around spreading this kind of khayalat and ta'wilat, among them are Armiyaw and his likes. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us all. May Allah save the ummah of Ghana. This lecture is entitled The Islamic Heritage versus a Historical Error. The error has been committed, and it is going to remain in the history of the Ghanaian Muslim. It's going to remain in the history of the Muslims in Ghana. And that is why we have to follow it with this heritage. To make it clear that people talked about it. People rejected it with truth, with fact and evidence. Because the next generation will ask questions if they come to sit, if they come to learn the heritage. If they come to learn the heritage, they will ask questions. And we don't want them to curse us after our demise. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Wassalamu alaikum.